What's up, guys? Joe Youngblood. I'm a whitetail habitat specialist with Whitetail Habitat Solutions. I hope everyone is doing well. We are out here today spraying the plots for the first time. So depending where you are at, many of you have probably already done this, but our weeds are surpassing 8 to 12 inches, and that's where we always recommend you guys get out there, especially if you overseeded your plots with cereal rye. That stuff gets too long. It starts to get very stringy, and it's hard to mow if you needed to mow it later. Of course, depends on what you're using and how your blades are and things like that, but pretty easy to come in and get things sprayed off so we can get ready for our summer planting. Man, look at what this second year clover looks like. That's what happens when you guys do a little fall seeding, little frost seeding. I mean, you can see the rye and some of the other stuff coming up, but that just looks awesome. We are starting to get to that point now that we have a decent herd. If you've been following along, thanks for watching. If you're new, welcome. But when I bought this property years ago, there wasn't a ton of deer running around, maybe out in some of the other ag. But after the rut, we just weren't seeing much. So we've really been doing this from the ground up, which is super exciting. So one of the things we do to help with that is a summer food to really help start to build the deer herd and retain more deer onto the property. But we might get into that point where we're actually going to get rid of this clover and just focus on fall food. A lot of people worry that the deer aren't going to come back, and it's just not the case. We do not need does sitting here all day long taking up space, and summer food is the first thing we need to think about when it comes to that. So we'll probably start getting rid of this, and we'll still have a nice summer planting that the deer will still have things to munch on and other wildlife, which is great. So guys, what else do we need to do when it comes to food plot season, summer plantings, from winter all the way through our fall food? What's going on? What do we need to be cognizant of? So the first thing is, like I was mentioning, the rye and the other things that are coming up first thing in the spring. Rye will be first thing to shoot up. But not far along might be, clover and some other stuff that you may have planted. So spraying 8 to 12 inches high, when the weeds are 8 to 12 inches high, is the first time that I'm going to be out spraying. And that's going to be with 2 quarts per acre of glyphosate and 1 pint per acre of 2,4-D. Very common. You can find that all over the internet and YouTube. But that's going to kill pretty much everything that you have out there. Even if you have some glyphosate resistant weeds and things of that nature, it's going to give you a good kill. Now right now we're almost to mid-May, so like I said, I'm almost to the point because time is the issue, where I'm getting a little bit behind. You can see behind me though, I mean, most of this crimson clover and things like that, and even some of the rye, it really is pretty close to 8 to 12 inches. Some is a little bit taller, of course, but I should get a good kill and a good spray. And the other thing is, if you wait too long, then you won't be able to hit some of the weeds that might be underneath, Yes, some things, whoops, almost dropped you there. Some things can be a little bit of a smother crop, if you will. But at the same time, because it's such a staggered growing season for the different types of weeds, a lot of times, it's going to be hard to spray everything that first time. You're going to possibly have to do another spraying, and it's just going to waste more of your time. So strongly suggest coming out here and getting it done when things are this height. After that, what's going on? Well, month and a half, somewhere in there later, these weeds are going to be shooting back up again, right? The 2,4-D does have a 7 to 10 day residual if you're using the proper amounts. Glyphosate neutralized once it hits the soil. So things are going to be coming up not too long after that. But here's the bonus. If you're in the Midwest, we're here in southern mid-Michigan. I'm going to be planting my summer crops early, mid, probably June. And so really that's going to be a month away, right? So between needing to get this stuff killed, and if you choose to till it, you can spray, you can do a second spraying, which is what I'm talking about now, month and a half later, doing the same thing, a second spraying, glyphosate and 2,4-D. And then go and till if you choose to. If not, you're just going to be going right into buckwheat. You get your good kill, you get your buckwheat down, call to packet, 50 pounds per acre, you're off and running. But what's nice about that, guys, is you really don't have much downtime. There's not a ton of time. Your soil is bare. Yes, we're spraying. You might feel like you have some bare soil for a little while, but you're going to go into your summer planting. Buckwheat 6 to 8 weeks growth time. after that, or that or slightly longer maybe if you're going to do some other kind of summer plow down. Whitetail Habitat Solutions and our new seed blends, we had a lot come out in February, and that's one of them. A summer plow down mix that has a different variety, and you can turn that into the soil, add some organic matter and things of that nature, which is really cool to start mixing it up, because not all of you are going to be using the no-till method, but buckwheat is still a great crop for smother and for adding that organic matter back into your soil as well. So bear that in mind, whatever route you choose. After that, guys, we have, you're either spraying again and then tilling, or spraying your buckwheat after you've put your seeds into it. And that would be, of course, just glyphosate, just as a reminder if you're going to be going that route, because we do not want to put in 2,4-D, have the buckwheat, or excuse me, your fall food at that point germinate, and then you kill it off, or it can't germinate because of the residual in the 2,4-D. Excuse me. So that's kind of the route we're taking. And then, the 6 to 8 weeks, like I said, if we choose to do buckwheat, will put us right into early mid-August, which for our area is about perfect. If you saw some of my last videos when I talked about how green and good the plots were looking, especially up to, I think one of the last videos I did a short, you can see it, but it was on opening day, and that's November 15th here if you're not from Michigan, and it still looked green and the best it ever had. So we got more lime down last fall. Got some help with one of those big spreaders that you can rent. So guys, be cognizant of that. If you're sick of breaking your back buying some of the ATV implements or so on that just don't work as well as the larger ones, you can typically buy a spreader that you can pull with a tractor, and get a large amount, I want to say 8 tons, something like that, spread very easily. And if they fill it for you, it's even usually same price or cheaper, quite a bit cheaper. We do have our sidetrack, our tubes out and our trees going, and our fences seem to look pretty good. Where we did all of our cuttings, a bunch of videos previously has been all about our cuttings and plantings that we did. So excited to go around and see more about how that stuff is looking. Just haven't spent the time, but it's fun to see just even the plots. That stinks because I was really looking, some people, they have these luscious plots when this annual clover comes back, of all the little red heads that come up. But some of my soil has been getting better and better. I'm glad to see it now, but here we are. It's time to get going, spraying and getting our summer food into the ground. How cool is this, guys? We're still doing our spraying. Some of these trees that we had hinged from inside this little pocket here, we cut, this is where we cut all those oaks, if you saw that video, at the beginning of the year, end of December last year. Look at all the leaf out. There's a blue jay, actually. Look at all the leaf out that we're having too on these trees from the hinges. Quite a few of them, which is neat because it still leaves all this deer browse, and it's going to let in all this sunlight to, this edge feathering. So anyway, that's kind of for another video, but I just wanted to show you guys. I thought it was super cool. I have some sporadic cuttings in here, so I really don't want to run them over. But anyway, we will check up on all the plants at a later time. All right, guys, we're at one of our pockets. Just wanted to come give you an update. I will put on the screen how long ago these were put in. I want to say it's only been getting close to 2 weeks. Check it out. These cuttings are sprouting. Maybe not every one, not perfectly, but just to see these so quickly with the recent rains that we had, off to the races. Look at that one there. That is awesome. Starting to be well worth the work. I don't know if there's too much on these trees. I think I see a little bit on there maybe. But anyway, looking good. Wanted to bring you guys that, so hopefully these continue to grow really well, even in some of the areas that aren't as great because of the weed barrier we put down and all the extra work we went through. We'll keep you posted on their progress. Another nice little side chore you can do is coming around to your cuttings. These are some 2-year-olds that are looking pretty good, filling out a little bit, finally getting to the 3-4 feet tall mark this year. And I'm just gonna backpack spray or spot spray if you have the wand on your boom sprayer and stuff, and kind of get in between these just so they can get a little more sunlight, especially you know, towards the right areas, and they don't, you know, get too outcompeted, right? The three things we want to think about are sunlight, weeds, and water. So by spraying some of these, I can really help with the weed competition and the sunlight, and release these as well as possible. So something to think about. I hope that gives you guys a good overview on, you know, what we need to be spraying when it comes to getting in our summer food and into our fall food. And if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm gonna get all this stuff wrapped up. Probably need to come back with the backpack sprayer and get in between some of these tubes, if not today, rather soon. I can even see here at this tree, you know, stuff's already kind of filtering through. And this was a pretty good bag of mulch. So who knows, maybe some stuff even needs to be done by hand. Hopefully these trees start taking off. I see some buds, so looks to be good, but I haven't checked them too much yet. Anyways, good luck, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Be cognizant what you have growing up in your plots. Ooh, that looks like a hornet. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.